In a recent EY report, or a survey actually, it was found that talent crunch is one of the top 3 challenges that are in front of our entire EV revolution. And while the other two being your cost parity with your usual solutions like petrol, diesel vehicles, and the third one being around the whole availability of raw materials, which you talk about what materials are available and not, right? But the talent crunch is one of those problems which does not have any immediate fix, and it requires a concerted effort over a long period of time. So much so that another report found that there's a gap of around 5,000 highly skilled professionals that need to join the workforce for this EV revolution to continue forward. And you'll be very surprised that this happens at a time where today in India, and if I consider only top 25 engineering colleges in our country, we have more than 10,000 graduates every year coming out of the fields like mechanical, electrical, your electronics, material science, and the fields which are relevant to the EV industry. And yet there is a 5,000 students or 5,000 professionals gap in the industry today. And this gap is only going to increase to 100,000 people required by 2025 and 1 million people required by 2030. So this is a level of opportunity, but at the same time a challenge. Where do we get these professionals from? Because when we talk about a growth of this industry, which is pegged at 45 to 50% year on year, which basically means that we require 250 to 300 gigawatt hours of battery production by 2030, right? For this, we require to set up gigafactories. For this, we require to develop cell technologies, battery technologies. We require battery manufacturing processes, electric vehicle manufacturing factories. We require research centers and whatnot, right? So we require people across R&D scientists, we require battery engineers, technicians, sales and marketing professionals. We require people who will run and manage these projects, who will install these all infrastructure projects like gigafactories and stuff like that. And when we have this diverse pool of requirement, how and where this talent will come from, and more importantly, why there is a crunch, right? I said that there are more than 10,000 graduates every year coming out of these core fields. But why are they not available for the EV revolution to happen? So let's look at the causes, what is leading to this talent gap and talent crunch. The first cause of this talent gap is that out of these 10,000 people, if you look at it, not even 5% of the 10,000 graduates that are graduating today are joining their core fields or continuing to work in their core fields, right? I come from IIT Roorkee. I graduated back in 2015. And out of my batch of 98 students, only 5 people today are continuing to do anything related to materials. And out of those 5, 2 of them are at Log9, me and one of my batchmates. So that is the real issue. And why is this happening, right? Because if you look at the entire software or IT industry over the last 25 years, or very recently the tech startup ecosystem, so to speak, right, has been the shiniest ball in the room, right? And most of the young graduates are getting attracted to these kind of job opportunities because that's what is available, right? So whether a person is studying electrical or mechanical or civil or chemical, doesn't really matter. Everybody starts to code away and then find an opportunity in one of these places. And that is what is creating a gap in places where the opportunity lies, right? And I do agree that to start with, these opportunities were not available, right? The EV industry is a new phenomena. And there were not many automotive jobs previously, so we really didn't have an option while those students were there in these fields. But that is changing today, and that's what we need to kind of communicate and make these students aware that these are the opportunities that lie in front of them. The second challenge is that if you look at the curriculum of various programs that run across engineering colleges in India, and I have seen it firsthand during my stint at IIT Roorkee, I think most of the curriculums are quite dated, right? So the methodology of learning as well as what is being taught and the way it is being taught, I think it requires a fresh look, right? It requires more practical, on-ground understanding, experience of building things, breaking things, and then moving forward. At the same time, it needs to keep pace with the industry, right? One good thing that has happened in these colleges and across IITs and other premium colleges as well is that we at least have good research projects. But if you look at the curriculum, people who are not able to get into these projects in their degrees, right? The curriculum is still very dated. How do we uplift that curriculum? How do we make it more practical? And how do we bring it that fresh sense of requirement in terms of what the auto industry or the EV industry or these core fields require? There is no, I don't think there is any fun in learning a 50-year-old method of producing steel, because neither the steel industry is using it and definitely not the automotive industry is using it, right? But which was the case at my time as well. So these are the two root causes which make it very, very challenging for fresh graduates to kind of seek those opportunities and be even excited about it. And that's the gap which needs to be solved. There's some good signs which have happened recently, and there are some good initiatives that have happened. For example, at IIT Madras, they have started a 1-year executive program around electric vehicles and energy storage, right? And then at IISc Bangalore, they have a 6-month program now about battery engineering. It's kind of a crash course. And also, I would really like to appreciate, so for example, we have had these Formula SAE and Baha SAE and those kind of student programs and competitions running for a long time. I think these programs have been one of the largest talent pools from where automotive industries would seek to hire new fresh graduates from. And now there is a new trend of EV specific competitions like your Formula Green being organized by IEEE. There is E-Moto being organized by another organization. And these programs, what they do is provide practical skills and actual hands-on experience of designing and building electric vehicles, batteries, and then using them and testing their performance on field. And that gives a lot of, so to say, tangible talent to the industry. But how do we go beyond these programs? Not everybody on campus, right? Like if you look at across these 4-5 core fields, there will be at least 400 to 500 students on campus, and everybody cannot be involved with these FSA or Baha SAE kind of programs. So what about the large amount of student population that we have? So for this, I think it's very important to bring in industry-specific projects, and we ourselves are taking lead wherein we try to engage with various colleges and institutions across the country and engage in different kinds of programs. For example, one of the very successful programs that we have been running for the last 4 years is with RV College in Bangalore, right, where almost every year 10 students join us for a 6-month program. So basically, they spend their last semester at Log9 doing their undergrad project or their master's project with us. And in that time, they work on actual tangible problem or a project. They solve it, they work on it, they write their thesis. And I'm very happy to tell you this, that out of those 10 to 12 students that join us, we have at least 8 or 9 of them which get absorbed in Log9 itself, right? So that's the efficiency of that program that we have been able to run, when we are able to get really good students and then over the 6 months, tune them, make them learn the tricks of the trade, and then get absorbed at Log9 itself. So this program has been running very successfully. And then we have other programs where with IIT Madras, for example, with IIT Delhi, IIT Roorkee, where we're trying to kind of fund projects of various students across undergrad levels to masters to PhD levels. I think these kind of programs is what is required, apart from obviously the freshness that is required in the curriculum. At the same time, how it will happen that students will get excited about the space? I think there is enough interest in the electric revolution. There is immense push from the government with respect to the policies, the incentives to grow local manufacturing, to talk about local indigenization, right? When we talk about 50% indigenization of electric vehicles and batteries being produced by 2025, and talk about 70% plus everything being locally made in India, it requires a huge amount of manpower. It requires a huge amount of time and resources to be developed, and huge amount of research to happen locally in the country. Just to give you an example, right? It takes roughly around 10,000 man hours to create a battery pack design, right? 6 engineers working for 8 hours for around 180 days is what it required to create one single battery pack. So with the amount of types of vehicle platforms that we have, the type of applications that we have, the types of each vehicle in each category that there are, the brands and everything. So the overall potential is just huge, right? And I was just, yesterday I was looking at some average salary benchmarks across various colleges in India, right? And I think if you look at those averages, the electric vehicle industry is already paying at par or above those averages in that regard. And if that's the case, there lies a huge opportunity, which is a responsibility on us as well to kind of talk about the opportunity that is in front of us and educate these new students and fresh graduates about what lies ahead. I know it's a big challenge, but at the same time, it's a big opportunity. So with this, Log9 is there, and we are trying to work with all academic institutions as well as policymakers to kind of drive this growth, build that empowered India with our local talent base, and so that we can achieve our energy independence targets and also make a climate positive country. Thank you very much.